Former Fox News host and Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, went before the committee.
He's just so evocative to me. Like, I'll peek in at him and I'll just be like, "Bleh!" Like visceral
I couldn't agree
disgust. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast that vows to remain untriggered from now until we deem necessary. I'm untriggered as hell, Alyssa. How about you?
I'm still pretty triggered, Erin.
You know what we do? We're triggered quietly. We're triggered quietly.
Like I'm not tweeting about my being triggered.
Yes.
I just look in the mirror in my bathroom and say, it's really bad.
Look, there's always crying in the shower, screaming in a pillow. There are plenty of enclosed spaces. A jar that you can whisper it into.
Shout it, yeah,
that's
and then
true. Screw the top back on, put it on the shelf. You want to have a triggered jar? Just be triggered in there. Don't give them the satisfaction. We're
You're
not
right,
giving
that's
them
good
the
advice.
satisfaction. We should start selling triggered jars to our listeners and donate.
I could make jam in them.
Triggered jam. Eat your feelings.
That reminds me, I have some to send you.
Yes. Okay, I'm so excited. Alyssa, I gotta say, with the fires of it all and how scary and sad it is out here, I've been really actively tapped out when it comes
as you should
to news. I have decided to nope out. I don't have anything else to give mentally, emotionally. I will look in on something and be like, nope. And one of the hard nopes this week has been the Senate cabinet confirmation hearings that are currently in full swing. So, Alyssa, I would love if you could fill me in on what's been going on.
Erin, one of the best parts of our bicoastal relationship is that sometimes you don't have it in you and sometimes I don't have it in me. And this week, I was on deck. I listened to all the bad shit. Like, start to finish.
Bless
yesterday,
this
Erin,
mess, Alyssa. Bless this mess.
Senate cabinet confirmation hearings, they're in full swing. As we're recording right now, Trump's pick for Attorney General Pam Bondi is in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. I watched some of that this morning. And on Tuesday morning, former Fox News host and Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth went before the committee for just over 4 hours. Let me tell you the thing about mentioning the part that it was just over 4 hours. Erin, it's going to surprise you to know that with Republicans in charge and Republican nominees, they only did one round of questioning.
It's the first time that he's ever only had one round.
Bump. She previously, Mark Esper, Chuck Hagel, people who were in the Obama administration, people have always had more than one round of questioning. And what was even funnier that I found out through listening to all of the questioning was that he hadn't met with any of the Democrats. So as much as people want to criticize whatever they're like, the Democrats were grandstanding and whatever. Look, some people I thought were grandstanding a little bit, but for the most part, they had to air all of their grievances in public. They didn't get to have a private conversation like he did with Joni Ernst about his concerns with his record. So some of our favorite senators took to the airwaves via the committee hearings yesterday. So just to remind everybody a little bit about Pete Hegseth for anybody else who has not had the emotional bandwidth and has tapped out a little bit. Old Pete has repeatedly said that women should not serve in combat roles in the military. Flagged. Tammy Duckworth on the committee might not have said that, my brother.
Oh, awkward.
She was no holds barred, and one of the best lines of questioning where she was kind of, in essence, like, look me in the face and my missing limbs and tell me I didn't deserve to be there. You monster. He reportedly routinely showed up to work at Fox News smelling of booze and talking about his hangovers. That's who I want leading my military. Ran 2 separate veterans organizations into the ground financially under his leadership. I think it was the Koch brothers who fired him eventually.
The Koch brothers fired him?
Yep. One of the organizations was mostly funded by the Koch brothers, and everyone was like, "Where the money? Where'd the money go?"
Oh my God! I mean, Donald Trump himself has promised to pledge tens of millions of dollars to veterans organizations, and then not done it. So I feel like him and Pete Hegseth kind of not cheating. Yeah, cheating veterans out of money is the kindred spirits, right?
They're like, "Listen, we got this."
Over-promising and under-delivering for the veterans. That's kind of like the Trump way. Cool. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, so he admitted on the record to being a serial cheater, which Tim Kaine brought up, and which that was the one line of questioning. I was like, I don't know, did we have to? But whatever, who cares at this point? And even his own mother wrote a letter that she was embarrassed of him.
Which she's disavowed.
She did. I think after he was like, get on board. Because she changed her mind and got on Fox News real quick. Mm-hmm. Real quick. I think it was maybe the day he was nominated, something like that. So anyway, Erin, as you can imagine, he faced a series of questions about sexual assault allegations, drinking on the job, his financial mismanagement, as well as his fitness to take a position responsible for a nearly $1 trillion budget. You know, it was pretty much what you'd expect.
He's just so evocative to me. Like, I'll peek in at him and I'll just be like, "Bleh!" Like visceral.
I couldn't agree more.
Disgust. He is, everything that he has been accused of does not seem like a surprise to me. Like, he looks like a guy who has shown up to work drunk. I also read that he was making $4.6 million a year as a Fox News weekend host.
Erin, was that a year or was that in toto? Even if it was in toto, that is a lot of money.
I have to say, if I were a woman working at Fox News, working harder than him at Fox News, working more days than him at Fox News, and making less than him at Fox News, and I had some information about him, I don't know, might be a good time to deploy it. You're a journalist. You know how to launder information. Get information about him to somebody that it matters to. I mean, I don't think, the funny thing about this and everything you're telling me about these candidates, I feel like a lot of people going into this second Trump administration has been like, now he knows how things work. Now he knows where like the levers are, blah, 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 blah. Maybe he won't be such a chaotic failure. And nothing about this transition that I've picked up or read against my will has shown that he's learned a fucking goddamn thing.
Well, what he's actually learned is that there are no fucking consequences for anything he does, basically.
Well, it's chaos, though. That's the thing. Like, it's going to be chaos again. He hasn't learned. Like, there are people whose confirmation hearings have had to be delayed because of paperwork not being filed. Paperwork. You should have somebody who could do that for you, working for you, even if you don't like. I wouldn't expect Donald Trump to be filling out the paperwork himself, but I would expect him to hire somebody capable of meeting a deadline, right? A person.
We would hope.
A person. And he's learned nothing.
Here's what he's learned. He's learned how to use the system to his advantage, right? Like, if you think about he was so unprepared to be president the last time, and I'm not talking about fitness, I just mean like actually prepared, like didn't think he was going to win, that he had to rely on people to tell him who might be good fits for certain agencies, right? And so while his cabinet the first time around had some real fucking humdingers.
Michael Flynn,
he was in and out so fast, you can remember. But like, General Mattis, totally acceptable Secretary of Defense. Like, and I think what was interesting in Hegseth's hearing was that Jack Reed, who's the Democrat, he's the senior ranking member, Hegseth will be the first nominee he's never voted for. And he said that at the top of the hearing, that he voted for Mattis, he voted for Esper, he's voted for everybody. He will not vote for, and like for him, he's actually a very serious person. And so I think that matters to some people, but he's probably still going to get confirmed because, Erin, we can get to Joni now. Because Team MAGA put a lot behind getting Hegseth over the finish line. They put a lot of money into a PAC. Steve Bannon's on the case. Everyone's like, we're going to scare the shit out of any senator who's thinking of voting against any of our nominees.
Hysteria is brought to you by OneSkin. January is all about fresh starts, and it's a great time to swap out the skincare products weighing your skin down in favor of a regimen scientifically proven to transform your skin at the cellular level, something today's sponsor OneSkin knows all about.
Their products are powered by OS1, a proprietary peptide the 4 founders, who are all skin longevity scientists, developed after testing 900 other peptides. And it's scientifically proven to switch off the aging, dysfunctional cells that cause lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Not only that, OneSkin's products are packed with nourishing ingredients to naturally boost collagen, reduce inflammation, and protect skin from environmental stressors while being free of unnecessary irritants like sulfates and fragrance. Ready to detox your routine, improve your skin health, and look your best? Head over to oneskin.co and use code HYSTERIA at checkout for an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Make 2025 the year you invest in habits that keep you and your skin healthier at the cellular level.
One thing I really like about OneSkin, the no fragrance thing. I'm over fragrances in my skincare products. I can't do it anymore. I find myself very sensitive to them, and it becomes like the thing I'm tasting all day.
Yes.
Like I just want something I can put on my face that works and be done.
And not feel it and smell it all day long.
I don't want to smell it all. I don't want to smell myself all day.
I don't want to smell it. I don't want to feel it.
No. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to feel it. I just want it to work. OneSkin was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists with PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. Those sound like classes that I would not be able to pass in college. Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self. Get 15% off with code HYSTERIA at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code HYSTERIA. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
Hysteria is brought to you by Via. The holiday season messed with your routine? Looking to take charge of your life with full mental clarity this new year? Enhance your sober January and embrace CBD Awareness Month with Via to experience the powerful benefits of hemp without the high. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers, Via is the Swiss Army knife of wellness, dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of cannabis to create high-quality wellness products. Via's collection of THC-free products combines minor cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, and CBN with botanical supplements for targeted effects you can actually feel. Whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, or relief, Via has something for you. Via is also well renowned for their award-winning THC and THC-free gummies and vapes, THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part? Via legally ships to nearly all states in the U.S. in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. And I can vouch for that because they shipped it to me here in New York.
Amazing. So if you're 21 plus, treat yourself to 15% off. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice with our exclusive code HYSTERIA at viahemp.com/hysteria. That's VIIAHEMP.com/HYSTERIA.
And Erin, I've got to tell you, like I said, they sent it to me, and you know I'm a bit of a weed connoisseur. So I got the THC products, and they were very smooth. I'm like very particular because some things, especially anything I take during the day, can really give me anxiety. And this was not, because they had the CBG, the CBN in both of them, which is just like very good for your nervous system. And what can I say? I enjoyed it very much.
Unlock the power of nature with Via's organic and vegan hemp extracts, perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. Via is the only lifestyle hemp brand. They use compounds found in hemp, along with active plant extracts to create products, each with a specific effect in mind. Whether you want to get better sleep, ease anxiety, enhance your mood, or just get high, they have something for you.
If you're 21 or over, go to via.co/hysteria and use the code hysteria to receive 15% off. And if you're new to Via, get a free gift of your choice. That's VIIA.co/hysteria. Use code hysteria. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Again, VIIA.co/hysteria. Use code hysteria. This year, enhance your everyday with Via. So here we have Pete Hegseth, Erin, who is a sex pest and is going to run the Department of Defense, and Joni Ernst, who is a veteran who is a victim of sexual assault.
While serving?
While serving. And I think, Erin, that, actually, I don't think I know. On Tuesday night, she said that she would support his nomination. She'd vote for him.
I don't expect anything from these people. It is dangerous that we have somebody this stupid and unqualified and blackmailable running the Department of Defense. I feel like Republicans have a sort of like galaxy brain strategy about this, where it's like, yeah, well, if we know all of the things that could be blackmailable and he doesn't care about them, then maybe he's blackmail proof. Like, he doesn't care if anybody knows about these things.
It's entirely possible. You know what else he did? This was the one funny part of the hearing. He shows up and he's trying to be like Mr. Family Man, and he has 7 kids and like forgot their names. Like, he decided to name them all and then he got tripped up. He couldn't remember.
You make up a song, dude. Pete, you got to make up a song to remember your kids' names. Oh my God.
I was like, you're not helping.
God, I feel like the cabinet is like so much hand-wringing has been done over DEI, but this cabinet feels like DEI for morons. Like DEI for morons that go on TV.
A lot of unqualified people are getting a real chance here.
Yeah, they're getting a leg up. It's like, are you stupid? And have you been on Fox News before? Well, we've got a spot for you.
And they all have.
Yeah.
Every single person nominated for the cabinet has either been on Fox News or has been a contributor, been on as a regular guest. I mean, that was the one thing that was quite upsetting watching the hearing yesterday, is that he's a TV personality. So while I thought he was repellent, I think there are a lot of people who would have been like, he's quite telegenic, and he had good evasive answers. Like, he did his prep work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't recall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I just think that it's clear that Donald Trump has learned nothing. He has nominated these people for cabinet positions, like how somebody would take Ambien and watch the Home Shopping Network, and then a couple weeks later they'd be like, I got a couple different kinds of juicers.
What is these 3 therabodies I got?
Yeah, this is some sort of crystal powered anti-arthritis glove. All right, I guess that's what I ordered it while on Ambien. I don't think this is going to end well, but I'm going to say this: don't have the emotional bandwidth to get that. I mean, sure, let's find out. I feel like part of him being nominated and pushed through, despite the fact that he's a sex pest, is because Republicans, and MAGA Republicans specifically, get a thrill out of thinking they're making the feminists mad, or they're making like Democrats mad. And there's a part of me that's like, all right, guys, find out.
One of my favorite lines was when Senator Gillibrand was coming at him about things he had said, and she's talking about, like, you've said women shouldn't be in combat. You're saying mothers, shouldn't be. She goes, what's wrong with a mother? What's wrong with a mom? And then she just looks at him and she goes, it's just so silly. And I was like, yes, that's it. It's just so silly.
It's just so silly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's how I feel like that's going to be my thing. When
Yeah.
I'm feeling triggered, I'm just going to go, it's so silly.
It's very silly. Speaking of ways that you punished yourself this week, Alyssa.
Oh, speaking of silly.
Facebook founder / Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was recently on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's a cursed sentence right there. And my understanding is you listened to the entire interview. I read some headlines about the interview, but I would love to hear what you heard as you were listening to these two paragons of masculinity just jibber jabber.
Gotta be honest, I find Mark Zuckerberg so unappealing, like in every way. Like, just he is the most inauthentic person. Like I don't know if he believes in anything, but he started out the conversation. They were talking about, Meta's fact-checking program going down the tubes and recalling the company's DEI initiatives. And it's just, Erin, it's all such MAGA talking points at this point. And it's like, look, Mark, you can do one of two things. You can just be like a capitalist Silicon Valley billionaire. Please just go do that. But like trying to be liked and have friends, which feels like everything he keeps doing. Like first he was like, I don't know, maybe the Obama people will be my friends. And he's like, oh, maybe I can get the Biden people to be my friends. And now he's like, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I found someone who was ripe for the plucking. And after I listened to the podcast, just a quick detour, I saw or I heard on the news that it was confirmed that Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos have very prime seats at the inauguration, and they will be attending.
Does this guy want Trump to hold up the TikTok ban or what? Like I think that he is being a complete capitalist. He is. I think that.
Yes, but and unlikable.
He is super unlikable, and I reference this episode of television a lot, and producer Caroline is going to very much appreciate it. There's an episode of Freaks and Geeks where Sam shows up to school with a new hairstyle, wearing a jumpsuit that he is just completely not pulling off, and it is played for laughs. It is an extremely funny scene that captures the awkwardness of like being a teenager and trying on an identity that doesn't quite work, that you just can't do it. That is, every time Mark Zuckerberg comes out, I just picture Sam in slow motion walking down the school hallway with his like dumb little jumpsuit and his feathered hair, and everyone thinks he looks so dumb. But I think this, honestly, he is sucking up to Donald Trump because he believes that if Donald Trump, who has been sort of like waffling on whether or not he's going to uphold a TikTok ban that it looks like the Supreme Court is going to allow, he really believes, Zuckerberg believes, that if TikTok is banned in the US, then the people that use TikTok, the tens of millions of people that use it, are going to be driven back to Meta products. Here's the thing, Mark, we're not, because Meta products are fucking garbage. We don't.
Do you know
like
I
them.
still don't have the new Instagram font?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? There's a new font?
Yeah, it came out months ago. There were all these new fonts that came out months ago, and I never got them. So
I use Instagram because it's like the least. I've curated a fairly tenable list, and it's the only way that I stay in touch with like people that I actually know in real life now. Mm-hmm. I'm about to deactivate my Facebook account because like I don't use it anymore. It's like complete fucking garbage. Download that data and just like get the hell out of Dodge. No purpose for it. I don't use Threads. I used it for like 2 days and I was like, this kind of sucks. Blue Sky is way better. And people are not rushing to download Meta's products under the threat of TikTok going away in a couple days. They're downloading fucking a Russian state-operated TikTok dupe.
Really?
Yes. There's a Russian state-operated TikTok dupe that is available in the App Store, and people are downloading it rather than using Instagram Reels. They're like, I will hand my data to the Russians, you fucking assholes. They're downloading
Mark
something.
did that to himself.
He did that to himself. Make better products. Make something that people want to use. Instead of just trying to like bully and corral people into being forced to use something. He hasn't, look, spoiler to devoted listeners of Hysteria, watchers of our YouTube channel, he's our forthcoming this fucking guy. He is somebody who had an idea at the right time and then had no more good ideas.
Right.
Hysteria is brought to you by Armra Colostrum. You guys know I'm always on the lookout for ways to strengthen immunity and gut health. I'm always saying that. Improve my fitness and metabolism and enhance my skin and hair radiance. Well, I recently discovered an incredible product and brand, Armra Colostrum. You've heard about Armra Colostrum by now. It's the best kept secret of industry insiders for a while, but word is finally getting out, and for good reason. Armra Colostrum is everywhere these days. When I first heard about it, I thought it was almost too good to be true. Except I know all about colostrum. Colostrum is amazing. Right? Yes, exactly.
See, I knew.
I thought it was too good to be true. Thousands and thousands of people reporting that it was transforming their health. Tens of thousands of 5-star reviews and life-changing stories. Well, I can confirm this stuff delivers. It is, colostrum is incredibly miraculous thing that exists.
Just a real goddess drug, or goddess substance.
Some of the benefits: strengthened immunity, fortified gut health, ignited metabolism, vitalized hair growth. Everyone wants to grow hair like a champ these days. Enhanced skin radiance. Everyone practically glowing. I've not gone outside in days, but I am practically glowing. Fueled performance and recovery. It also it helps if you're like an athlete.
Yeah.
If you want to make it easier for you to get up and do your thing more than once a week because you're getting old and aches and pains are catching up with you. you're going to want to recover better. Colostrum can help with that. We've worked out a special offer for my audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryamra.com/hysteria or enter hysteria to get 15% off your first order. That's tryamra.com/hysteria.
Hysteria is brought to you by Babbel. Erin, are you planning any exciting trips this year?
No, but I've been on some unplanned exciting trips.
Yes, you have. Well, I bet for that unplanned trip, you didn't need to learn a new language.
No, but you know what? Who knows? There could be some unplanned exciting trips in my future that would require me or, where it would be beneficial for me to be able to speak another language.
Right, and you know what's the worst? Being an American in a foreign country and you can't speak any of the language and show any respect to your host country, and people just go, ugh, American, as you leave the restaurant. But
Happened
you know what?
To me in Chile. Happened to me in Chile.
I'm saying, this year, speak like a whole new you with Babbel, the language learning app that gets you talking. Learning a new language is the pathway to discovering new cultures, so why not embark on learning something new? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, get you to begin speaking your new language in 3 weeks or whatever pace you choose. And because conversing is the key to really understanding each other in new languages, Babbel is designed using practical, real-world conversations. Spending months with private teachers is the old way of learning languages, and nothing screams tourist like holding a phone translation app up to your face all day. Oh God, I hadn't even thought about that.
That also screams, rob me. Pickpocket me.
That too. It's the equivalent of the old map out in Times Square back in the day.
Babbel's tips and tools are inspired by the real-life stuff you actually need when communicating. With a focus on conversation, you'll be ready to talk wherever you go. With over 16 million subscriptions sold, Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee. This year, get talking with Babbel. Let's get more of you talking in a new language. Babbel is gifting our listeners 60% off subscriptions at babbel.com/hysteria. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/hysteria. Spelled babbel.com/hysteria. Babbel.com/hysteria. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Here is the interesting thing. So this whole 2-hour, however long this thing was, Odyssey, I listened and I was interested in hearing about his interactions with the Biden administration, all this, right? That's like 10 minutes. Then we get into the journey of a lifetime, where he tries to impress Joe Rogan with his physical MMA fighting stuff that he does, and how he takes something called thick neck to work out, and he talks about how starting the day with a fight, it's just the best, and that's the best kind of tired, and he's trying to so hard bro down, and he then does the thing which everyone's talked about with the masculine energy. And my first thought was, you got 3 daughters. What if they listen to this? I mean, it's so embarrassing.
He's sucking up to Donald Trump, and it is extremely embarrassing. I cannot think of a more embarrassing dad than having Mark Zuckerberg as your dad.
No, and then Rogan brings up how, he brought, Mark Zuckerberg added Dana White to the board of Facebook. And the way that Mark talks about it, he's like, oh yeah, Dana's so fucking cool. Actually, Dana is a bootstrap true, what he did for UFC is actually an incredible story, and he really did build it brick by brick. Mark, that's not the same thing, but he's he's just an entrepreneur, and because I own the majority of shares, I don't have to answer to a board, and so I can just get people who just have good ideas. I was shut up, dude. Because you literally, because Erin, in the journey of the podcast, he goes from saying that none of this is my fault, and I wasn't really over all the content moderation, that wasn't me. But then he goes on to say that he's omnipotent and answers to no one. It's it kind of can't be both ways.
You know what? I gotta say that meme, horrible, worst person you know, just made a good point. That meme came true this week.
How?
Because Andrew Tate had an opinion on the interview, and the quote that Andrew Tate had was, "Every single dude was a bitch." Which, I'm sorry, credit where it's due. That is funny and true. That is funny and true.
And you know what, Erin? Because we are going to be talking about the fires with Michaela later, and literally the worst part of what Elon has done to Twitter/X and what Mark Zuckerberg has done, let happen to Facebook and Instagram, is that during catastrophes, those were actually real places to go for real actionable information. And they've ruined it. So like for me, it has no purpose at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to use Instagram just because friends of mine in LA are using it to share information, and organizations. You can follow organizations on Instagram, and they're really good about like updating and providing info. But like, yeah, X is fucking useless.
Useless.
Watch Duty, the app, is
Yes, I've been reading all about it.
It is like it has become my like North Star. Everybody's North Star. It is like clear, succinct, great.
Did you read, if you haven't read this, you're going to love this. The guy who came up with or invented Watch Duty has been offered all this money for people to buy his website, his app, and he's like, no. He's like, you're going to ruin it.
Yeah.
Like this, he's like, I shouldn't have to do this, but I did it. And like, you're not. So I'm like, you know what? Look at that.
Yeah, we should give money to that guy. It's a great app. But yeah, Mark Zuckerberg is somebody who doesn't have any good ideas, and the only idea he has left is sucking up to somebody who can kill his competition, because he can't kill the competition by buying it, which is what he normally does, or by inventing a not as good product and paying a ton of people a ton of money to like drown out a competing product. He can't get rid of TikTok with his own money. And so what he's trying to do is suck up to somebody in power who can. And I got to say, I'm going to have to listen to that entire interview too, because, you know, I got to write about this fucking guy. I got to say, it is kind of funny to just watch him not pull off makeover after makeover.
I mean, he's got a real look now. It's a real...
He looks like he murdered Mrs. Roper and is wearing her skin, but doesn't want to be caught for wearing Mrs. Roper's skin, so he just put on a black t-shirt over the skin of Mrs. Roper. Yeah, that's
if
what it looks
someone
like.
would Photoshop a muumuu over his outfit, I think we would see a real transformation into Mrs. Roper.
It's like watching him do interviews. It's like watching somebody in real time try to figure out the correct number of times to blink to seem normal. Mm-hmm. Like he's blinking too much, or he's not blinking enough, and he's got these big glassy unblinking eyes, and I don't trust him. Gotta say.
Yeah, let me tell you something. If you listen to that podcast, you can truly fast forward through, like, I'm telling you, the first half hour is interesting-ish. Uh-huh. But you don't have to listen to the entire recovery story of his surgeries that he had. I think he tore his Achilles or something like that, ACL. But the funny thing is, this is kind of like, and again, you don't have to listen for this part, but this was funny, is that Joe Rogan's like, did you do peptides? Did you do peptides? And Zuckerberg is like, yeah, I mean, no, you know, I follow the doctor's protocol, and Rogan's like, you can't do that. You gotta do the peptides. And it's like Joe Rogan kept asking him these questions that clearly kind of a cooler, more in the know person would have been able to be conversant about, and he would be like, yeah, there was a lot of that throughout the whole podcast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First of all, I got to listen. Every time I listen to a Rogan interview, I do it on double speed. It's funny. It's like listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks talk about bodybuilding. The second thing I was going to say is like, by masculine energy in an office, does he mean men complaining about something that's way easier than childbirth?
Yes.
Because that seems like masculine.
I think that you just hit the nail on the head.
You got a knee operation, blah. I pushed 2 babies out of my fucking vagina.
Yes,
But
you did.
Whatever.
Yes, you did.
It's still not, masculine energy, complaining about things that are not as hard as things that other people have to go through.